Hi everyone. So right now I'm working, but what's happening? Okay, but I am currently wait doing my job. So yeah, I'm just here to talk about. There was a question below. They said like, what did they say? Okay. They said they were asking me if it's better to like open a bank account for their girlfriend and so on because of coronavirus. And it's really difficult to send money right now, which makes sense. As of the moment, even for me, it has been quite challenging for me to send money. So, for instance, like even if I wanna, let's say, send money to, but it depends on, I don't know how United States works, but in Japan, if I want to send money, I have to register people, their bank account, and then I also have to register their uh sorry, so I also have to register their name, everything. So for instance, I didn't register my sister. I couldn't send money to her. So there's a difference with that. Now you are mentioning that like, is it better for me to open a bank account for her? Well, first of all, uh of course, having a bank account is always been, like one secure way and easy way to actually transfer money, especially if you're overseas. Sometimes these banks, they can offer like special discounts, and sometimes they're a bit more expensive than usual, but it's not that bad, right? So, but the point is, it's much easier to transfer money. But I would recommend this if there's no coronavirus. You see, right now, Philippines is under lockdown. Although there's an update that some people, especially some politicians, I mean, under the Duterte administration, they're actually suggesting to like have a lockdown, but only for Manila, which I think it's quite good because in some areas there are fewer numbers, and if you don't have to enter Manila, it's much better, right? So just lock that place right there. Although I'm also thinking like, how can my mother go to my hometown because Manila is in between. So I don't know what she could do. So, but the point is, most banks are closed. So even if you want to open up a bank account right now, it's a little bit difficult. Now you might say, Mira, how about online banking? Online banking works, but you have to understand that my country is a third world country. So first of all, we have lockdowns and we have, some limitations in terms of transportation. So if even if she has a car, what if she couldn't actually use that car, right? So especially if they have like a rule towards that. Then number two, some banks are open, some banks are closed, and these banks, some of the banks which are open, they also have sorts of like limited services. For example, let's say they can do this, but they cannot do this. I'm not sure if opening a bank account is available right now, but she can give it a try. So the best thing that she could do is to search for that Facebook account of that bank, or you can do that too. You can search the website of that bank, the branch number if possible, and ask about the services which are open at that moment. Number three, you also have to make sure that she has a certain amount of money. Now, for instance, in some banks, they have rules in opening money. Right now, there are small banks like GCash, M. Louvillier. They started like a small banking system. Now, I don't know if you can send money through those banks, but it's worth a try. But if you're gonna send like remittance, it's better to use larger banks like BDO, Metro Bank, PNB, and so on. So usually they have like this standard amount that you have to deposit before you can open the bank account. So if I'm not mistaken, for an ATM account, it's 2,000 pesos. That's Metro Bank. But if you're gonna open like a bank book, I think it's 10,000. I'm not sure, 10 or 4,000 pesos. So it depends on the bank and your, so you still have to send her money, nevertheless. And then next one, how about how long would it take? Now it also depends on the bank. Right now, a lot of banks are, being closed, and then they have a limitation with their services and so on. So some services cannot be available, including opening up a bank account. So you have to check the website. And even me in Japan, actually I have seen 3 banks right here already. And I was even thinking to open up some bank accounts, but I haven't had the time to do that. But I have one, Metro Bank, but I'm thinking of PNB. But unfortunately, as you know, I checked their websites, there are some limitations. Although I can do it like sending the documents through mail. But as you know, the logistics in the Philippines is not as reliable as Japan and in your country, so there would be a little bit of problem. So whenever I do something in the Philippines, I always try to do it in person after checking their website. So my final advice for this is, yes, it's a good option, but first please check the website of the bank, check the branch, check the availability of services as of this moment and how long would it last. And finally, send your girlfriend the money that she needed so she can open a bank account, and make sure that she has an ID. So a lot of Filipinos, they don't have a legal ID. Like right now, I'm in Japan, so the only legal ID I have is my passport. And I have some old IDs, which are, from my schools before university. So those are also valid IDs and voters ID, something like that. But believe it or not, a lot of Filipinos, they don't have legal IDs. So sometimes they only have 1 or 2. But if she's getting money from a remittance center, perhaps she has a legal ID. So you need at least 2 IDs to open up a bank account. So please make sure she has it. Maybe she has the money, she verified everything, but she doesn't have the ID. So it would be a waste of time and effort to go to that bank if she cannot open it, especially with the lockdown. So right now, my best suggestion is to send money through remittance center. They're still operating, although there's like a curfew. Because my mom, she mentioned to me about that. Like she can only go out until 3 p.m. And so check those things. And also check the Facebook site of that bank. And usually these Facebook sites, they're very, you can ask questions and they can answer them as well. So I hope this helps, and thank you for watching my video. I have to do my work.